ApexInvesting.com, doing an Apex Sniper series. We're going to cover NQ today and the Apex Sniper trading system. If you're not familiar with it, check it out at ApexInvesting.com/bootcamp. Again, that's ApexInvesting.com/bootcamp, where you can get a free trial for 30 days with no cost, and your second month is only $1. Get full access to our trade room, our trading tools, and our training. And then we got discounted rates after that. So make sure you check it out again for free, no credit card required. So as always on any financial webinar, we got the disclosures. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it, and there's risk in investing, okay? A reminder, if anybody doesn't know this, there is a Lilu sale that we have that's special for Apex. If you go to ApexInvesting.com/funding, you'll see the code APEX25, and you can get 25% off up to 3 accounts of any size that's on the monthly plan, okay? Any of the monthly plan. Does everybody know about the discount code? Y'all got that down, how to use it? That is for the first month. Hopefully you only have 1 month, but for your first month. And you can qualify in as little as 10 days. Okay? Reminder, we're in earnings season, solidly in earnings season. If you log into apexinvesting.net and you scroll down to news calendar, then you will see an earnings report at the bottom. It'll show you what day and what time those earnings calls come out. Tomorrow's the 28th. So you see we got a lot of earnings coming out, some in the morning, some in the evening, some that are in the Dow, some that are in the NASDAQ. But again, we got some big earnings. Facebook is coming out tomorrow right at 4 o'clock. Do you want to be in right when earnings comes out? Is that the time to be trading? Oh, no. Mario says. So no, you want to be avoiding that time. So, and again, there's some in the morning too. So you want to be aware of what time they're coming out. You know, some come out at 6:45 in the morning, some come out at 8, some come out at 7, you know, some come out at 4, 4:05. So there's a lot of them that came out today. And now what about what news happened today that caused the markets to crash? Who knows? The COVID mask mandate. So where they're trying to say that you got to wear them indoors again. And there was rumors that it was coming out before it even came out. Do y'all know what website I read to find that rumor that it was coming out? What does the weight mean? The weight means how much of a percentage of the index it is. I used zerohedge.com. So whether or not you believe in masks, I'm not going to get into that. Most people who know me know what I think about it. The market didn't like that. So zerohedge.com gave an update that it was coming out. And so by using that, you could have had a good idea that we were going to have a significant down day today. And as the public caught on, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and almost fell 2 deviations. Okay? But I use that website. I'm a subscriber to their website, so I get everything instantly. But that and financialjuice.com is another great financial news website. Those are the 2 main news websites that I use. Financialjuice.com and zerohedge.com. I'm not looking at Fox News and all that. By the time they report it, it's already been out there for a long time. So today, this was yesterday here on the left side. Had a good day back. Today was incredible. Had some great sniper trades and some fantastic simplicity trades as well. I don't show you this to discourage you. I show you this to show you what is possible. So just build it up over time. Okay. Don't try to get there today. It took me years to get there. And that's in a day on multiple accounts. Okay. So one single day. So y'all ready to review some charts? I traded pretty big today. I was trading like 24 contracts. All right, let's get it rewound all the way to the beginning of the day. Oh, and then I gotta have my Harry Potter wand or somebody will complain. Let me open that up. Here we go. If I'm going too fast for you, if you're new, don't be shy. Ask questions, okay? Yeah, 24 contracts on one account. That's correct. So again, don't be shy. All right. Now, one of the things I want y'all to notice is these detectors at the bottom. Whenever there is not a trade, but a potential trade, one of these detectors will pop up. And in the training, we tell you what each one of them mean. Okay, the black ones mean there's a potential TX trade. The green one means there's a potential FTX trade. The red ones means there's a double TX potential trade. The yellow ones mean that there's a potential elevator. The blue ones means there's an SLZ. And the purple ones mean there's potential TBS. Okay. All right, so I know that was fast, but again, that is covered in the training for you. And just, learn one step. And what I recommend you do is what I'm going to do today. I was working with my friend, and he was asking me, what's the best way to get up and running? Is it doing replay? Is it trading live? What is it doing? The best way to get up and running is to rewind back to the beginning of the day and then just go one bar at a time. And you can do that just by clicking on the right arrow. Okay? So I'm just clicking on the right arrow, and it gives me time to stop. Where replay may be too fast or too slow. Live can easily be too fast if you're learning it. Go through and do this, review is what I call it, and just go one bar at a time and look for a detector and go, okay, is this a valid setup? And if you don't know, ask in the room. Even if you're doing a review, just ask in the room, okay? So right here, right out of the gate, it's a little bit early. Usually I wait till 9:35 is over, but I like this trade setup. What do we got right here? We do have OD divergence, but we don't have a TX on it. It is an SLZ. An SLZ means a star. And we explain what SLZ means in the training, but a star with a low volume score and a ZOI on that bar or the bar before that. Okay, and if it does that, it'll automatically put a blue detector at the bottom. Okay? And you want to make sure there's room between it and the next level for you to get your 2 bars of take profit, which there is. And you want it coming off a major level, such as a deviation, a dynamic magnet, what else we got? We got double mini magnets, we got flux levels, and we got 3 of anything. Okay, which we call a stack. So we take this trade and it is profitable. It made its 2 bars. There you go. You only need 3 of these a day. 3 net profitable trades, which is about 30 ticks a day, to be making 20 grand a month after about 7-8 months. So would that be life-changing for most of you? So is it okay to wait that long to make that much? Because if you rush it, do you think it's going to work? So definitely be willing to put your time in, go for just 3 trades, net profitable, and be done for the day. When you rush it, you just blow it. Okay, so one person asked, I know what the little blue bars are. They mean trapped orders. What are the little red bars? The little red bars, I'm trying to find one, but let's see, where is one? Basically what they are, like a little blue bar is a trapped order. A little red bar means leading volume, and it's the opposite of trapped orders. So it'll be, the bar will be closing in the opposite direction. So it'll be red, and you know that, hey, if this bar closes the opposite direction, then it's going to turn, like right here, if it closes up and I got red on here, I know it's going to turn blue, and I can get ready for that trade. So yeah, here's a little red one. If you, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, that's really small, little red ones. So if it closes the opposite direction, it's going to turn blue. So it gives you a heads up that if this bar closes the other way with the TX on it, I'm going to have a trapped X box. And you can know that up front. So how do you think that helps you to know up front what's coming? What does that do for you? Yeah, it keeps you ahead of the game, right? Helps you prepare, get ready to enable the auto trader. Some people said, you know, on a day like today, is the auto trader great? Yeah, the auto trader is great on a day like today or a regular day. So you can check that out at apexinvesting.com/automate. But yeah, it lets you be proactive. It lets you look and see, is there anything in the way if this were to become a valid trade? Is this a valid trade? So you want to be looking ahead, not, oh, that's a valid order. Now I got to put it in, and boom, it's already done before you got your order in. And you can use the chart trader if you want to as well. And that's a plugin that we have for like $100, and you can say buy if it closes up. So, or you can use Markers Plus, which we have at the Automate page. All right, so let's keep going here. So now all I'm doing is I'm looking at the bottom for a TX. There's a TX. Okay, is that a valid trade? Letting everybody look. So we got a valid trade right here. It's not quite HDD because you have to have 2 pullbacks from the recent low or recent high. We only have 1 pullback, so it's not HDD. Yep, DR is red. It doesn't meet any of our qualifications. Not ODD, not HDD, not ETX, not FTX. So there's nothing there because it didn't lay a mini magnet or pop. So we wait, we go for the next trade. What about right here? Do we have a trade here? So correct, it's not ODD and it's not an ETX. ODD would be if it made a higher high. Now with that OD volume being low, that's good, except for it needed to make a higher high. So you make a higher high on less volume, and it did not make a higher high. So no trade. You could try it out as a range-bound trade if you're really good at reading ranges. There we go. What about this one? Anything on it? Getting some yeses. Got some no's. Make sure you double check and look at it. If you said no, I want you to double check and see if you can see what trade it was. It's not HD. HD would have to be on the bottom side for going short. But it is an ETX. So an ETX, because we have a trapped X box, as we know with the detector here. We got a mini magnet, and it's right on one of the OP levels. So we got it right on a ZOI. So yeah, lane 2 as we'd call it. So it goes around, comes back. What would you do after it did that? What should be your next? It only has one cluster in the way, so the clusters wouldn't stop it. As soon as it closes up like that, you want to put your, in this case, your take profit to break even. Does that make sense to everybody? So if it closes against you after you're already in, put your take profit to break even. The cluster is probably what caused the bounce. But it's only one cluster, so we don't look at that as crocodile eyes. And that did not lose because it did not go up, and even if you would have stayed in it, it would have been profitable. So I don't know how you had a loser there, but it never went up and hit the stop loss. Does that make sense, Robert? Should not have had a loser there. That wasn't that one. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. Got one win, one break even. This is only a few minutes time. Okay, do we have anything right here? Got an ETX. With a rule of 3 on it. It reverses. And we're out of that trade as a loss. So remember, we're going really strong down because we knew the news. But we'll go ahead and let's count them all. So that way we can go through the entire day. Okay? All right. So we got one win, one loss, and one break even so far. Okay, what about right here? Do we have a trade here? No, nothing that meets our rules. No ODD, no HDD, no FTX, no double TX. Just a plain OTX. Okay, what about right here? Anything? And I do encourage everybody who's listening to be replying, so that way, even if you're wrong, to reply. So that way I can correct you and help you out, help you get better. No ETX because there was no mini magnet or paw on it. You'd have to have that on it. Plus, yeah, you sort of have 2 3-bar chop, but it's 3 up, 1 down, 2 up. It's not 2 down, 2 up, 3 down, 2 up. We're really looking for opposite directions for 2 3-bar chop. But not an ETX because we don't have a mini magnet or a paw on it. And it's okay to be wrong because this is where you want to be wrong, right? I mean, y'all get that? You want to be wrong in here so you get it right. So there is a dynamic magnet. It's not in the way of the take profit, but it's still not a valid trade. There's not a valid setup there. Oh, we got a 3rd-bar swing right here. Is that a valid trade? The third bar swing is noted by the purple at the bottom. It's when you have a new high, when you're within about 7 bars of that new high or new low, and it puts a trapped X box with a mini magnet or paw on it. Second mini magnet in a row. Yes, it's a valid TBS or third bar swing. So there we go, and it works out. So that's 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. All right, now we got a long TX. Anything? Yeah, today was pretty fast. It can be hard to take a trade if you're not used to these fast days. So that's where the automation and the chart trader come into place, because they help you place those orders a lot faster. It's also where doing these reviews gets your mind faster and faster and faster for keeping up. Yep, almost an SLZ. Just a little bit too big on the volume score. It's not a double TX, or it'd be red. So no trade. Here we go. Now we got a double TX. And what else do we got? We got ODD. But what's the one thing that would make us weary of this trade? A double TX can be valid against DR when it's in a range. But we have something specific, a certain pattern on the chart that we're looking for. A lot of y'all got the answer. That we don't like to take. Yeah, we have a 3-bar chop, 2 3-bar chops. Yeah, it's 3 bars up, 3 bars down. If it was 2-3 or 3-2 or 3-3, we don't like taking those trades because often they just go against us. And it's always important to be looking for that 2 to 3 bar chop, so that way if you get a setup, you're like, oh, I'm not going to take that trade. Now we got a TX short. Do we have the same thing going on? Do we have the same we have 2-bar chop? Some ugliness. Low DR, so no trade, right? Skip on it. Everybody see the 2-bar chop? 2 bars down, 2 bars up. Awesome. Okay. Now we got an SLZ. We don't have chop, but there's one rule you got to remember on this. Now, I don't like the double mini magnets, but I do really like SLZs when they're by a level, especially if they're right by a level. And remember, the one rule is you can have them if they're within 1 tick of a major level on the other side. So this actually is a valid lane 2 trade. The one problem is you have those double mini magnets, because it's 1 tick above the major level. So not taking this trade would be the right move. Yeah, 1 tick above it on either side. So if it's 1 tick above it going down or 1 tick below it going up. Okay, but those double mini magnets would tell you not to take the trade. There's too much of a chance of it bouncing off of them. It did happen to work out, but we're okay with missing out on some winners as long as we can miss out on as many losers as possible. All right, now we got a TX short. we have room to take profit right before the deviation. So it's an ETX. So where should you take profit? I sort of said it already, but like a tick before that dynamic magnet. So it goes down, you take profit. So that makes for 3 winners, 1 loser, 1 break even. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we got another TX short. Try to enlarge it a little bit. There you go. Hopefully that helps. No ODD. It's too high. It went above it. And the number, well, it's above it, which is good. But the number is above 85%. And 85% is our maximum. So I would not be taking that trade. So the only way you could take it is if you're taking it as a range bound with all that stuff above it. But again, you need to be really good at range bound trading. That's not the objective system. You would have got out at break even. All right. Now we got a TX short. Can we take it? And yeah, we're not factoring in dark zones and things like that. But yeah, there was a 10 a.m. dark zone. So no trade. Go. Hit that little F. It brings your chart back into focus. The way you get out at break even is once you place a trade, you grab your take profit or your stop and you move it to break even. So you can literally grab the order and move it up to where you got in or move it down to where you got in. So usually it's on the other side of your trade. So usually you'll move either your stop or your take profit, one of the two, to be able to move it to break even. Does that make sense, Jay? Like grab it and just drag it. When to know is anytime you're in a trade and a bar goes against you. So if this bar would have went against us, then that's when you would move it to break even. So if a bar goes against your trade and you're not stopped out, that's when to move it. Not an HD because this would have had to be a lower low. Since it was a higher, I'm sorry, a lower high. Since it was a higher high, that was not HD. Got to have 2 pullbacks with lower highs. So this is great that y'all are bringing this stuff up because if you bring it up here, then you get to learn from it. If you just or bring it up in the room, it's a great time to bring it up anytime. I mean, that's why I'm in there. I love it when there's a lot of questions because that's when you learn. You don't learn when you're just sitting there in silence. All right, we'll do some simplicity as well. But we'll go through and finish this out. Do some LREs. LREs are a great way to overcome losses. All right, we got a TX right here. Do we have a trade? So letting everybody answer. It's not choppy. It's not 2-3 bar chop. So that would not be a reason to pass. So we have a HD trade. Okay, we got trapped Xbox there, and with the HD, we've had 1, 2, now 3 pullbacks, all with higher lows, and this number is greater than 125% of the previous number. And the entry is above that first cluster, so I would still take it. The clusters have to be, you have to have 2 clusters in the way of your entry and your take profit. Since you're entering above the cluster, you only have 1 cluster in the way. All right. All right, there we go. Now we got 3 winners. 1 break even, 1 loss. Yeah, basically 2 clusters between your entry and your take profit. That's what we call crocodile eyes. Okay, we got an SLZ here. Is it within 2 points of the dynamic magnet? If it's on the lower side, it has to be within 2 points. If it's on the upper side coming down, it has to be within 1 tick. No, that's way more than 2 points of the dynamic magnet. So it's not close enough. Okay, so we don't take that SLZ because it's not within 2 points below it or 1 tick above it for a short. Or if it was a long, it'd be 2 points above it or 1 tick below the level for a long. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions on that? If not, then speak up. Okay, so you need your high to be within 2 points of a major level. And like a dynamic magnet is a major level. Not a mini magnet, but a dynamic magnet is a major level. So this is more than 2 points away, so it's not a valid SLZ. It has to be within a dynamic magnet, or it has to be within a flux, or a deviation, or 2 mini magnets, or 3 of anything. Okay, so we don't take that one. We got another SLZ. The TA you should have turned off because it's not close enough. Yep, no major levels. So anytime you're within a major level, then you could always turn on the TA for it. So no trade. What are we at right now? 3 wins. Three 1 and 1. All right, we got a TX long here. Anything? No, no setup. I know for a fact it's not an ODD. Against DR, like everything about it, going into a deviation, all sorts of stuff. Now we get an elevator. Can we take this elevator? And an elevator is when you have coil chop, up, down, up, okay, 3 in a row with the trapped Xbox and a paw. But you need it within like the first 7 bars of a recent high or low. Okay, so it's not a valid elevator. It is a valid ETX, but I'm not a big fan of them in coil chop. But if you did take it, which is allowed, the one trade you're allowed to do it on, then that would have been profitable. And that does meet the rules that allows you to do that. I got confused a couple weeks ago and said it, but so coming right off of Dev, again, you can still get in with that coil chop on an ETX or an elevator only. An elevator early in the trend, ETX at any time. We had a paw right there with a, I guess that was a ZOI. Okay. Can the elevator be considered a reinforcement on the ETX? It can be, yeah. So it'd be 4, 1, and 1. Now we got a double TX going with the trend. Can we take that? And it's something else. It's an HD. So it's red to signify a double TX. It's actually green to signify FTX. So it's not high enough for an FTX, but it is a double TX. And again, we got 1, 2 pullbacks, and this is 125% greater than that number. It's 200% greater. So that is a valid trade. They're going into a couple levels, but not 3. Remember, a stack is 3. Now, where should you have taken your profit on that trade? For 2 reasons. Right before that mini magnet, and what else is right before that? What's one tick before that mini magnet? What do we have to the left? We have crocodile eyes, so you definitely want to take that thing right before that mini magnet or be tightening down to break even real quick. Okay? So what does that make it? 6, 1, and 1? Crocodile eyes would go over in depth and thrive, but they're basically when there's 2 mini magnets in between your entry and your take profit, like spaced out. Right here, like, I mean, it's just like right at it. 2 clusters, I mean, yeah, 2 of those yellow boxes. Thank you. All right, so what do we got? 5 or 6? I'm losing track. I'm getting 5s and 6s. Either way, we up. All right, we got a TX right here. Can we take it? I think it's 6. There's not really anything there. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say we're not going to take it. No, there's not a paw on that one. The paw's from a previous one. I like the range, and I like the fact that it's almost HDD. It's at the exact same low. So I would like it, but I would not blame anyone for taking it, not taking it, and I wouldn't count it against you. It's not weighing a mini magnet. It's on top of a mini magnet. Yeah, way to ZOI. Would have got out at break even anyway. All right, we got a TX here. Do we take it? Nope. Would have worked out, but not a valid trade, so we don't take it. What about here? We got a TX long. Do we take it? You're saying yes. Why do you think we take it? It's got a mini magnet, but it doesn't have any other OP on it. A bounce off the dynamic magnet alone does not make it a valid trade. We do not take it. There's no valid setup. There is a star 5 before it, but there's not a ZOI, so it's not an SLZ. We need a ZOI also. So what is the about, Mickey? What you got? What's your question? It looks sort of like an ETX, but an ETX has to have another OP level. A ZOI, a paw, a mini magnet, a cluster. So it's bouncing off the dynamic magnet, but that's not an OP level. An ETX requires a OP level, not just any level. So yeah, maybe a good bounce, but was not a valid sniper trade. OP levels are mini magnets, paws, ZOIs, these red or green eye blocks, and clusters. ZOIs above wouldn't be a problem, but they have to be within 2 ticks of the mini magnet. So yeah, everything OP is derived from a bar versus from one of the like time-based bars, which is like mini magnets and fluxes come from time-based bars. Okay, we got a TX here. Can we take it? It says 18%, by the way. Nope, no trade setup. Got a TX here. Can we take it? Nope, no trade setup. Glad we avoided that one. It's a third bar swing right there. Can we take that third bar swing? Nope, it's not the third bar after the most recent high. And there's coil chop before it. Very good, Lewis. Or Luis. All right, let's see here. All right, we got a TX long, 711%. Can we take that? Coil chop, no trade. It's actually a TX short. But. All right, we got a double TX short. But we're going right into a flux. So do we want to take a trade right into a flux, especially looking left and after an ODD? So we do not want to trade in one of the major levels like a flux. That's what that big red line is. It went on down, but we took the wiser route. All right, we got a potential long right here. I know there's not ODD on this one. Going right back into flux. It's an ETX, but it's going right back into the flux. So we don't take the trade. Does that make sense to everybody? Oh, there's another one right there. There was a TX right there. Coil chop. Not an ATX. Not an elevator. No trade. Now we got an FTX. Is it a valid FTX? Nope, DR is too low. So DR down here needs to be above this one level here. And it's too low. So it's not valid. And good call. Crocodile Eyes to the left, Shalon. And going into a stack. This is when the news really hit publicly. All right, we got a TX short. Can we take it? Nope. Can't take it. Doesn't meet any of the rules. Now we got an FTX long. Is it high enough? Nope. DR is too low, so no trade. I'm glad we avoided that one. Got a double TX. Can we take it? Nope. It's not HDD, and it's going against DR, and it is not range bound. And we got some messy chop going on. Got a double TX going short. Could we take that one? It is not an ETX because the other OP level has to be from a previous bar. It can't be from the bar itself. So if you want to take a range bound, you could, but again, you better be really good at ranges. So I would not take this trade. And it flew up. Be real careful on those range bound trades. All right, we got a TX short. Anything there? Got coil chop. No setups at all. All right, we got an SLZ coming off of a 0.7 dev. Can we take that? With, an OP rejection, that little diamond that's in the top right. So yes, we can take that. What do we do right here? To break even. And that one loses. Okay, so we got 6-2. So it should have stopped when you were up 6. When you were up 6-1, were you up in net 3? Yeah, way past our 3. Exactly. Yes. So this is what happens when you keep trading. But I like to keep doing it so I can show you all the trades and give you just more experience. Okay, so we got our 6-1-1, but now we got a 6-2-1 because we kept going and we should have stopped that $20,000 plan. All right, we got TX long. Is there any trade there? Nope, nothing there. Got a TX short. Do we have a trade? Double check it. If you're saying no, double check it. Got a range bound ODD by a tick. So it is a valid trade. So 7, 2, and 1. 7, 1, and 2, however you want to say that. All right, we got a long right here. Can we take it? Those of you saying no, double check and look at it. You wouldn't need to take profit before the mini magnet because it's not right before your take profit, right after. Low DR doesn't matter on this trade setup. We're looking at a HD trade. It's not 3-bar chop because it's 3 down and 2 down. So if it's 3 down and 2 up, then we'd have that 2 3-bar chop going on. But since they're both down, we don't have the chop. It is HD. We have 369% versus 66%. Two mini magnets would be a problem if it wasn't going to, you need to take profit before that second mini magnet, which you will. If the 2 mini magnets were in the way, then you wouldn't. That is true. This is lower by 1 tick. So technically, it's not an HD trade. You're right. You got me. Good job. See how it would have worked out. Would have been a break even anyway. So technically, due to that making a lower low right here, let's just said it wasn't HD, we're right. I looked at it and I just saw it and was thinking that.
And you get to do next week's webinar. Congratulations.
But now you're going to have to do it. All right, let's see here. Do we have a trade? We have an ETX. How do you feel about this chop? I don't like it either. Trade will probably win, but I don't like it. I wouldn't have taken it. We were in a little bitty range. All right, do y'all want me to switch over and do a little bit of simplicity before we wrap up? Okay, let's see here. Let me grab this. Turn that off. Don't do that. That is not the right chart. There we go. Turn that off. Scroll. Not that far. I didn't get on till like 9:30. All right. So here we go. We're past 9:35. Okay. Looking at this. Now, remember, we had the advantage of news this morning if you were watching Zero Hedge. And I even mentioned it in the room. So we're waiting and watching. Okay, so that does break the low of both angling down. Okay, so we got both lines angling down right here. And we got the low broken on the next bar. Oscillates a little bit. Drops down. Now our stop is if it closes above this line, because this line is below our break even. So we're out of the trade. Okay, now we got another short simplicity. If it breaks this low, it breaks it. We haven't hit break even yet, so we're still in. Now we got our solid line below our break even price. And it just goes right there. It closes above the solid line. Okay. So to cover this big simplicity trade that we had, again, we got a short right here because both are angling down. We break the low on the next bar. Okay, it pops up. Our stop is right above this solid red line if it closes above it. Comes up, then comes down, comes back up, comes down. Finally, we get the solid red line to be below the break even point. So now if it closes above it, we'll get out. We're trailing it down, trailing it down, trailing it down, trailing it down, and right here we close above it. And there is a lot of money. 49.71 from 50.53, so about 50 points on one trade. Now, most of y'all should be doing micros on these because you'll blow your account if you're doing minis. Okay? But there are trades you can do on this that are based on the minis. Okay? So it goes over here and it pulls back up to within 2 points of the solid line, and you can do an LRE. Let's see it. 10.02, it did not close above, it closed right at the line. So you're still in. So it's actually like a tick below it. Why did I take the long at 9.50? Well, because it's going right into a, let's see here, find it. Let's see, angling up, didn't break the high, angling down, angling up, didn't break the high. So flat and angling up. We're looking for, we didn't get two angles up. So I actually did take this trade. But when it pulls, the main point I want to bring to you is when you got that point going on within 2 points of it, you can go short right there. And you can go for 10 points, which more than makes up for one loss, right? 40 ticks makes up for 2 losses. So you get in it, it drops down 10 points, you take your profit, pulls back up right here, and go short for 10 more points. There's 20 points. Yeah, 2 points of the bar before it. So right here, 2 points of the line before it, not the live line, the line before it. How do you know if you should be trading micros or minis? On Simplicity, if you don't know, you should be trading micros. you need to have a lot of money to have drawdowns because you're going to have some big drawdowns. That's why I say do the minis on the LREs and focus on the LREs. Now let's look at after this. So it has a long simplicity right here after a big drop down. It's hovering at this deviation level. Would that possibly be a good take profit point? Yeah. Okay, right out of dev. Just hanging out there. You had a lot of time to take it off at the dev. Would everybody agree? All right, now we got another short simplicity. Both are angling down. It breaks the low. Waiting for it to break the high of that solid line. Hasn't broken it, hasn't closed above it yet. Let's see, did that one close above it? Closed right at it. Got another entry there. Definitely moved down our stop to break even. Closes above it, and we're out of the trade. So if you didn't get that first one, it came down here. Even if you decided to get out when it started chopping, then we got an entry at 14,971. If you got out in this chop area, 14,911. I mean, that's 60 points. What about your LREs? It came up within 2 points. There's your LRE. It drops. Got an LRE here with a 5-point stop. It goes up a few points and comes back down and takes profit. Don't worry about if it changes color. It's all about, does it close above that solid line? The red lines do have to both be angling down. You don't have to wait for them to cross. So both angling down. So there, if you want to know where that big profit came from that 50-point trade and that 70-point trade today. And if you want to review LREs, check out the first video under setups, under Sniper, the Sniper section, or the simplicity section. So if you go to where the setups are, go down to simplicity, and I talk about simplicity and Sniper. But you'll trade this best if you learn how to read the 30 tick, the 50 tick, like we teach you in Thrive, and the 10 tick. So if you really want to master it, you want to get Thrive. If you want to master LREs, you want to get Thrive. We're talking about 10-point trades and going up to 50, 60, 70-point trades. I mean, one trade pays for itself. Let's see, 1043. The line's right there. Technically, you would have got out right here. Close right above it. Now it's coming off the one dev. One thing that I've learned is when the market breaks below a dev, it likes to stay below a dev. So I probably would have put my stop right above it and kept riding it. That's something I talk about in Thrive as well. But 1043 wouldn't have done anything because you don't have that's not a solid red line. That's the dotted red line. All right. Did y'all get a few things out of tonight? Awesome. Well, make sure to take advantage of the room. be in the room. I can't stress enough how important it is to be in the room. Once you signed up for your $1 trial, after your free month trial, you can get in a mentor room under the What's Next section. Section 2, I think, tells you how to get in the mentor room. And I will see y'all tomorrow in the trade room, and make sure to register for next week's webinar. Message Lori if you haven't got signed up. Message me in the room if you still haven't got signed up after messaging her. All right, y'all have a great evening. See you tomorrow.